welcome to FDS MTG News for Friday, March 8th, 2024. Hi. You say hi? Say hi to people. And a special thanks to the PlayEDH team, who were a massive help in putting this episode together. Go check out their Discord in the link below. I wanted to make a correction because in our last episode I said there would be a Ravages of War reprint in Fallout. What I forgot to mention is that it is a collector booster exclusive and not in one of the pre-constructed decks. Apologies for the confusion. Magic Spellslingers is being shut down. A post on Reddit on March 7th showed a screenshot of the announcement put out by the development team. As of March 6th, all cash purchases have been shut off, and the servers will be officially shut down on June 4th. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry, you are not alone. Spellslingers is a simplified version of Magic that Wizards had hoped would take off in the mobile game market. It did not. The main evidence for this is the fact that most of you are probably hearing about Magic Spellslingers for the first time today during this story. Or you were like me, and you downloaded it the day it came out, played halfway through the tutorial, uninstalled it because it was meh, and then promptly forgot it existed. Seth Manfield won Pro Tour Murders at Karlov Manor with Rakdos Vampires in Pioneer. I know this is slightly stale news, but right after I got back from Chicago, this little guy showed up and it's been a bit crazy. The Rakdos Vampire deck is a remix of the recent Rakdos mid-range archetype that includes a combo with Sorin Imperious Bloodlord and Vein Ripper. You've probably already spotted it, that you can play Sorin on turn 3, use his -3 ability to put a vampire from your hand onto the battlefield, which will most likely be Vein Ripper. And you now have a 6/5 flying creature with ward on the battlefield on turn 3. That is gross. And I really want to build this deck. How much is Vein Ripper now? God. Congratulations to Seth Manfield for making Vein Ripper a $25 for winning Pro Tour Murders at Karlov Manor. Blogging with Blog-a-Tog, a new semi-regular segment where I cover the fun little nuggets of commentary spewing forth from the fire hose of content that we call Mark Rosewater, who also happens to be the head designer of Magic. Our first little gem is ETB is now E. They are shortening the phrase enters the battlefield to enters on cards going forward, and that word enters will be tied directly to battlefield. If you only ever see the word enters on a card, assume it means enters the battlefield. Any other zone will be specified. For example, enters the graveyard, enters the command zone, enters the other zone, you know what I mean. Considering the last few sets have had cards literally covered in text, it is safe to assume this change is to save more real estate on cards in the future, so they can shove even more text onto them. That's fun. Our second bit of Blog-a-Tog Bullion is Mark's response to the question, why no modern event decks in Modern Horizons 3? The question was, why Commander Precons, not modern decks with the MH3 release? I'm paraphrasing here. The majority of Mark's response was, and again I'm paraphrasing, we make a lot of Commander decks because there is a lot of demand for Commander decks. If they stop selling, we'll stop making them. But the last sentence in his response is what I wanted to bring up today, and I'm quoting directly now. As for making pre-constructed decks for Modern, there are some huge challenges. The power level needed to be viable in Modern does not line up with the price point players are willing to pay for a pre-constructed deck. Is that an admission that Wizards acknowledges the secondary market? No, it's not. But it is an admission that Wizards ties price to power. While this is something I think we all knew was the case, this is a confirmation of it. This is why we don't get fetch lands in Commander Precons. They want to keep those under a certain price point, and putting too many powerful cards in them would push them beyond that point. It's also an admission that Modern is freaking expensive right now. For our next clump of Tog, Mark answered a question about Universes Within cards, stating we've done the research, there just isn't a large enough group that wants Universes Within cards. We don't think the product would sell well enough to warrant making it. And frankly, that makes sense. The amount of resources they would have to put in to commission new art, character names, frames, and more is quite a lot, and would only be done if they knew it would drive a significant amount of sales. Apparently their research shows that it won't. And for our final chunk, while it doesn't come from Blog-a-Tog directly, it does come from Mark's Twitter. And I think it fits. Mark posted the reminder text for the upcoming mechanic Crimes in Outlaws at Thunder Junction. It reads, targeting opponents, anything they control, and/or cards in their graveyards is a crime. It's nice to see that Wizards has finally listened to the EDH community, and they have made any and all interaction a crime. I just want to check in with the folks of the cEDH community. Are you all okay? It just seems like these past few weeks you all have been having a real one. For starters, on March 1st, the Playing with Power MTG Twitter account announced that they are suspending all Mox Masters tournaments for the foreseeable future. The tweet included a screenshot of their statement that they posted on their Discord. The statement cited numerous problems with running webcam tournaments, noting specifically the 2-0 draw problem, where players who make it to 2-0 win rate in a Swiss tournament can start intentionally drawing and still have a guaranteed spot in the top 16. Other problems were single-day tournaments, bad actors in the space, profitability, and the big one, cheating. The statement says the Discord and the website will remain up, but does not give any indication of when they may be planning on bringing Mox Masters back. They do, however, encourage you to check out other tournaments such as Path to the Peak, the Mythic Lotus series, and Chaos tournaments. Funny they should mention Chaos tournaments, because that is the other bit of cEDH news we have today. There have been some major accusations made against Chaos tournaments this past week. Before I jump into this story, I need to stress these are accusations made by a single party, and no substantive proof has been provided outside of a Google spreadsheet. I also wanted to thank the YouTube channel Eisenherz, a channel dedicated to cEDH education that covered this in a little more detail and helped me disentangle this whole thing. On March 2nd, a tweet that has been since deleted stated that Chaos tournaments allegedly had over $10,000 missing, and the tweet also linked to a Google spreadsheet. Around the same time, Jacoby, the former lead producer for Chaos tournaments, posted a lengthy statement claiming that when they asked about the finances and proper reimbursement, they were let go of their position. They also claim that $12,000 is not accounted for in the organization at the moment. This is what the spreadsheet is alluding to. If true, this would be a massive problem, as Chaos Tournaments is a non-profit organization. All of their money needs to be accounted for. They are allowed to have the money sitting in the bank. That's okay. But if it's missing, well, that's a whole other thing. But again, there's no official proof of that. For its part, Chaos Tournaments responded the next day with a statement that claims members of the community have engaged in defamation, libel, and even death threats. The statement also says that in no way, shape, or form are the allegations against us true, and the statement proceeds to threaten legal action to protect their organization and the community at large. And that is where we are with this at this time, and I don't want to seem like I'm landing on one side or the other here. I'm just stating the facts as they stand, and as we know them as the public. But the folks at Chaos Tournaments are making no further comment at this time. Click on the link below to check out MTech Cave. They have fantastic collection management solutions, card game stuff, Lego stuff, and more. Use the code FDS at checkout. It gets you a discount and helps out the channel. Thank you so much. On February 26th, a post on Reddit by Cootie Ray, as an employee of Card Kingdom, please do not support pre-ordering singles here. The work conditions are horrible. The post went on to detail some pretty bleak working conditions that seemed to get worse during the weeks of pre-release of any set, because more orders for the new cards would be coming in. And with more sets coming out, that just means more pre-release windows, and yeah, it's, like I said, pretty bleak. But I am gonna pause here and say if you're purchasing singles prior to release, stop. Unless you're a pro player who needs 4 copies of Vein Ripper for a tournament that starts on the date of release, do not purchase pre-release singles. Wait, be patient. This is the only time I'll say don't buy singles. Still, buy singles, but just wait a little bit. With few exceptions, the prices on singles prior to release is artificially high. And yes, exceptions do exist, but it is much more likely to go down rather than up. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, this post also spoke about mandatory overtime, poor PTO practices, and more. A link to the post is down below. Surprisingly, Card Kingdom responded the very same day on February 26th by posting a statement that was basically corporate speak of, we follow all local, state, and federal laws, and we love working with the union, etc., etc., etc. I will also include a link to their statement in the description down below. On February 20th, the Twitter account Texas Ranger MTG posted a picture of a Discord conversation with employees of Star City Games. A player was inquiring about a deferment to an SCG regional championship. In the past, it wasn't totally uncommon for a player to ask for a deferment from a current tournament they qualified for to a later tournament of the same level. But this conversation reveals that Star City Games, the company who will be handling regional championships for the foreseeable future, will not allow deferments. Gerard Silva, the SCG employee in the conversation, confirms that Star City Games' default stance is no deferments. Channel Fireball is no longer behind a paywall. You now have access to Channel Fireball's full article archive, as it's now free to access, and future articles will also be free going forward. This is probably a decision by the new management of TCG Player, which now owns Channel Fireball, or maybe even eBay, which now owns TCG Player. It's like reverse osmosis. As a follow-up to last week's story, I wanted to cover the fallout, no not that one, of Wizards' decision to cease support for the Portuguese language after Bloomborough. The backlash from the Brazilian player base has forced Wizards to shut off replies from tweets on the main Twitter account. People are big mad about this decision. One commenter on the original Reddit thread stated that Wizards has been printing less Portuguese product over the past couple of years, but then stated they are ceasing support for Portuguese because players are buying less of it. What? I have a simple suggestion here. Maybe make it more readily available and people would buy more of it. And maybe also make it a little cheaper. Magic is already incredibly expensive in Brazil. Due to inflation and conversion rates being crap for Brazilian currency, this means that a booster pack has more than doubled in price. For those of us in the United States, we saw an increase of about 50% on average in our pack pricing. A couple of years ago, prior to Booster Fun, a draft pack was on average $4. Now it's about $6 for the Play Booster. Again, prices may vary overall across the country, but the numbers are close. In Brazil, a pack that used to cost 14 real now costs 35. That means that only those with a significant disposable income can draft, or even pick up a few packs from time to time. And now that Portuguese support is going away, even fewer players of any income bracket will even bother with the game. Isn't the idea to sell more packs? Get more fans into the space? I don't know. I'm just an angry nerd on the internet. What do I know? Did you know it's been 50 years since Dungeons & Dragons came out? No, I'm not talking about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, though I do believe 50 years of product has been released since the summer of 2022. But yes, it's been 50 years since the original Dungeons & Dragons was released, and to celebrate, Wizards is running a celebration the weekend of May 17th through the 19th, where your local game store will have an opportunity to run a special Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate draft event. The WPN website posted an article announcing the special event. This event will be run a bit differently according to the article. Each player will get 3 draft boosters as normal, but they will also get a collector booster from Battle for Baldur's Gate. The players will get to open the collector booster first, and the whole booster will be a part of their card pool. Then the players will draft the rest of the packs. And remember, in Commander Draft, you pick 2 cards per pick. From this pool, the players will make a 60-card limited Commander deck with a Commander. Check with your LGS to see if they will be participating in this event. Thanks again to the PlayEDH crew for their help in putting this episode together. Be sure to join their Discord using the link down below. That about does it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Welcome to FDS MTG News for Friday, March 8th, 2024. Yes. Oh, you don't like this? Why don't you like this? I like this. Okay, I'll take you back upstairs. I wanted to make a correction because in our last episode, I said that there would be have been shut off as of March 6th. All little guy you saw in the opening showed up, and it's been the Rakdos mission that Modern is ridiculously expensive. And I'm just letting this all go. Oh man, I wrote a lot. I'm skipping some pontification, and apparently I pontificated a lot in this script. As of March 6th, all cash purchases, or you were like me and downloaded the day it on a card, if you ever see the only the word. Yes, I can write. Sometimes. They want to keep those under a certain price point in Outlaws at Thunder Dunction? It's nice to see that Wizards has finally listened to the EDH community, and they have made any and all interaction a crime. Yeah, I said it. Announced that they are suspending all Mox Masters tournaments for the foreseeable. Click on the link below to check out MTech Cave. They have fantastic collection management. Thought I could get it in one. Didn't happen. Titled, "As an employee of Card Kingdom, please do not support pre-ordering signal on February 20th, the Twitter account Twexus? Twexus. The backlash from... For those of us in the United States, we saw an increase of about 50% on average in our price. Did you know it's been over 50 years since Commander Legends Battle for Ballers... Did you know that it's been over 50 years since Commander Legends Battle for... So yeah, that pup is my new reporter. I don't know what he's going to report. But yeah, that's what he is. He's a reporter now. He also likes to gnaw on things. Yeah. Bye.